It's time to go live. How are you?
Woo, I'm good. How are you?
I'm all right. I'm really in love with the sunshine today and the warm weather.
The warm weather.
The warm weather is fantastic. So.
I just told somebody to not get too mesmerized by it because it's, our false.
I know it's going to do me wrong, but I'm going to enjoy it.
Well, she goes, don't be so negative. And I said, I'm not being negative. That's
you just
factual.
know the weather.
Well,
we just know it around
my
here.
Whole life,
same.
But I told her, I said, that's not being negative. That means you enjoy it, like absorb it.
Yeah,
Don't
you just
take it
soak
for
it
granted.
in. For real.
But I guess I didn't say it that way. And she's like, she said, don't be so negative about it.
We just know better. So I thought this afternoon was going to go nuts. I finally got it back on track, but I decided since it was warmer, I'd take off my sweatshirt, and I was like, I'm going to put on some short sleeves.
Okay.
So I go to put on the short sleeves, and then I went and put this, skin oil on, and it went.
Oh, no.
And it was that kind of material where, the oil's going to have to be washed out, or it's just going to stain there forever.
Yeah.
So this is what you got, folks. Sorry, this is what it does have. It's a podcast.
I do like it.
So it's appropriate.
I was looking in the live so I could see it better, so I didn't have to go, what you got on there, Trina?
But that's what I have. That's what I have for today. And this is Run It Studios presents Inspiring New Growth with Trina and
Michelle.
And this is Networking in the 417. I still don't have it all committed to memory. I have to look at my notes.
Well, this is only our third one.
This is only our third one.
So half the time I don't even know things about myself committed to memory. So
that's okay.
Always better.
That's okay. This is like a newsletter, but hopefully a video that you will watch. And if you can't watch it live and join us, maybe later you can watch it and get some ideas about networking, know what's going on with Inspiring New Growth, the chapters. Is your hair bothering you?
It is bothering me. I was looking in there. It just looks so flat.
That's kind of the thing about the video. It's like I could sit here and pick myself apart all day. And so I'm like...
Well, it was just that side was really flat. And
And if your hairdresser sees it, gasp.
I know. I happen to know he's busy right now. He's not watching, but he will go back and look at it later. And then sometimes he sends me things like he'll circle something on the picture and go, hey, come in. I need to see you. We need to do something different. I'm like, okay. That's a good hairdresser, though. He gets ideas when I'm on my lives. Yeah, he gets ideas when I post pictures or I'm on my lives.
I do both love and hate that at the same time.
Oh, that's what happens when your hairdresser is like family.
That's a good thing. That's a good thing.
It is.
So if you are watching the video, we'd love it if you would ask your question. Just say hi. Tell us what chapter you're with. Or if you're thinking about joining a chapter, we'd be glad to field any questions that we can.
Yeah.
If you have an event that you know of that you want us to shout out, or something going on with your business. Maybe you're running a special. Let us know and we'll say something if we can see it. Hopefully we won't have any.
We are happy to talk about you.
Yeah, for sure. I mean that's
in a good way.
In a good way. That's what it's all about. Telling
love
everybody
talking
what's
about
going on.
people.
Yeah, in a good way.
In a good way.
In a good way.
That's right.
So
we are live from Vino Cellars.
Yes, which we are so glad that they sponsored this space for us. It's so cool. I mean, and then when it's nice out, they open the doors so you have that outdoor feel without, your wind blowing off your food or drink or whatever.
Have a yummy glass of wine.
Or fancy water. Show the fancy water.
Oh, yeah.
I just love
Yeah, this excites Trina.
I'm very easily impressed.
As soon as you come in,
I'm like, where's the water?
They bring you this lovely bottle of water to your table, and there are water glasses right there. And Trina gets very excited because she feels like they made this special for her.
And it does taste really good.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's extra purified or filtered or whatever, but
I don't know, but I do know that
it is. It's not just tap water, and I'm from the Ozarks, so I can't tell the difference.
She's talking to Ethan over there. He's like, no.
Ethan is waving from behind the bar.
Yeah, he says, no, it's not special.
He didn't want to come on the live, which we totally respect, but we're glad that he's putting up with us right now. We really appreciate it. But
nobody gave him the heads up, so he didn't know.
So we didn't know. Here we come in, and we've got our camera. And can you turn the lights up and music down?
Yeah, we just come in and take over for a little while. Yeah, Beano Cellars, you really have to come by. If you haven't been in here, they have these great little sitting spaces. It's just so comfortable. It's just welcoming.
It is
think
welcoming.
That's the big thing. And they have some events going on.
I was going to say, you were over there checking them out. What's the deal?
Hold on, I have to pull them up here because I thought I would remember them.
You couldn't commit it to memory either.
No,
Thank goodness,
couldn't.
it's not just me.
Let's start with March 26th. I love this. March 26th at 6 p.m. they have Ode to Bordeaux.
Oh, okay.
And that's a pairing dinner experience.
Yeah.
So you have to go online to their website and sign up for it. But basically they teach you pairings with the different foods. And obviously I'm assuming this is about Bordeaux. So, and then on March 29th, they have Vino Epicurean Nights, Australian.
Ooh, neat.
So you could come and learn all kinds of great things about wine while drinking the wine, while eating the food. And the food is really good, by the way. It's really good stuff. But no, I've heard, I've been here for a couple of different events, and it's always so much fun. And I love the community environment they create.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
So let us know if you've got an event too coming up or something going on with your business. We'd love to talk about it. So I wanted to I picked out a topic today that I know that you can speak to and that I feel like a lot of us would benefit from. And that is either a lot of people call it the elevator pitch. I think, it's your 5 seconds or maybe it's a little bit longer than that.
It's generally about 30 seconds.
Okay.
So we're visual. Humans are visual. We think it's our opposable thumbs that make us different than the animal kingdom and than others in the animal kingdom. And it is, but it's really the fact that we judge things, first of all, visually. And when I say judge, I don't mean judge. I mean, we bring in information visually. And so when we walk into a room, within 7 seconds, we know.
Hi, Cody.
Hey, Cody. We know who we're going to immediately be drawn to in that room. And once someone has laid eyes on you, that 7 seconds, then you really have about 30 seconds more to tell them why they need you or why someone they know needs you in your business.
Okay. So, first of all, why is it so hard not everybody. Some people are naturally eloquent. They know what to say. And some people kind of freeze up. Even if they've been doing their craft for years, they still kind of I feel clumsy sometimes or just not sure what it is they might need to know. So what's the best way to have it refined, polished, and ready to go?
Well, the first thing is you really need to think about what it is that you do, not the title of what you do, because it's really only about, it's 10% of the people out there who can just readily spout the information out or talk to anybody. So 90% of the people out there struggle in some way or form to talk about it. So it's more common to feel what you were saying than to just be able to rattle it off. So the first thing you have to do is really think about what it is that you do for people.
Okay.
Your expertise and value, what makes you different.
Yeah.
So that's a big one, especially in a world where there are probably a lot of people who do what you do. Why you? Why you? The next thing you need to do is be thinking about who your ideal clients are. And in that case, the answer is never anyone or everyone, because your ideal clients, that's not true. Your ideal clients are different than somebody else's ideal clients. So you need to think about maybe who was your favorite person you ever worked with? Who was your favorite topic? Who was your favorite client? Who did you do something really magical for? Those are all things to think about. You also need to know what the perception is of your business. So, because perception is reality, but that doesn't make it truth. And so whatever people think about you or your business is their reality.
Okay.
But you have control over that. So example would be, if you are in the insurance industry and you are an insurance person,
Mm-hmm.
what does that really mean?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're an insurance agent, what do insurance agents actually do? And most people don't really know the answer to those questions.
Mm-hmm.
You can know the nuts and bolts of your business, but if you can't talk about the business and explain it, you're missing out.
Mm-hmm.
And so you have to think about what does an insurance person, an insurance agent do? Why is it important to have one? Why is it important to know that person instead of just randomly getting insurance online? Things like that.
Yeah.
So that's what you have to really think about. And it's great to ask people questions about what you do too. Like, what do you think I do? What's my job? What's my job description? You'll be really surprised at what people say.
What about for somebody just starting out, though, when they haven't had the chance to really refine their audience or really know what other people see are seeing? Should they just kind of, just go with something for a while and then change it on the fly?
Well,
or
you can always change it because you should be ever growing. But if you're new out there, you just started your business, you started it for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
So what is your story? What's your why? What is it about you that people need to know?
Mm-hmm.
People do not do business with your product or service. I mean, they do. Obviously, they need it.
Yeah.
But they do business with you.
Mm-hmm.
So they may need your product or service, but they're choosing you to provide it for them. So that's the more important part of it. So what's your story? Why are you doing what you're doing? Because I say expertise and value, and people get that a little confused sometimes. It's actually one of the most difficult questions I ask my clients in my coaching business is, what is your expertise and value? And people freeze.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't talk about your expertise and value, how does anybody else know?
Right.
And so expertise, you might be on the job 3 hours or 30 years, but you have expertise. And maybe if you're that person who's been on the job 3 hours, then it's the fact that you just came through the training. You just had the classes. You're fresh. You have fresh eyes on things.
More like the skills involved, right?
Yeah, it's the skills involved. It's your background. That's a big part of it. So in your case, you have Run It Studios. Well, you may have only had Run It Studios for a short period of time, but you have vast experience in the world of radio.
Right.
And so that is part of your value, is that you have seen what works, you've seen what doesn't work, you've seen what's needed, you've seen how to feature business people, things like that. You've done the podcast yourself, so you know how to help somebody have a podcast for their business.
Yeah.
You do those things. So, and one of the things that people, especially in our area, because we're here in the Midwest, and we're very taught to be humble. So people are afraid to share their expertise and value because they don't want to be bragging.
Yeah.
And that's where people need to understand that you can still be humble and talk about why you're good at what you do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because that's not bragging, that's fact.
Yeah.
That's saying, here are the people I can help.
Yeah.
So I think those are the biggest things. Know what people, the perceptions of your business. Think about your expertise and value. Think about your ideal clients. And you know how you said if you're new and you don't know who that is yet? You probably do, because you started your business for a reason. Something threw you into that business.
Yeah.
Like I just heard an insurance person say, an insurance agent, I'm pretty sure she's an agent, not a broker, but she was sharing the story about the fact that she got into the field because of a friend who had poor coverage.
Yeah.
And that it hadn't been explained to that person very well.
Yeah.
And she was underinsured and was in an accident, and it caused her all kinds of problems. So we all have a story.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
And I think that's really important. You touched on people are doing business with you. even if you're in something that may seem oversaturated, or it seems like, I've heard some people say there, you can throw a, throw a dart and hit 10 photographers, or, in certain fields, even podcasts, like everybody's got a podcast. Just remember back in the day when everybody had a blog, and it does feel sometimes like a struggle to weed through and be noticed and all of that noise, but it's coming down to what you can do to connect with other people.
Exactly. It's what you can do to connect with other people, and to look at your gift and figure out what in this am I good at? Who am I good at connecting with? So in my friend's case, who was talking about why she went into insurance, she's looking for the people who don't understand their policies.
Yeah.
She's looking for the people who want to be informed. She has experience with someone who didn't get that.
Yeah.
So you're looking for specific people. And that's why I say not everyone or anyone is your client, because that's not true. As a coach, as a confidence and presentation coach, not everybody's my client. I've sat down with people before and said, I'm not who you need. You need this person.
Yeah.
So I think it's really important to know, who do you want to connect with, and who do you connect with most easily? I think that's a huge one too. Is when you're out and about, who do you connect with so easily? And just a quick little thought about that is, when I was with Park Lane, I'm still with Park Lane Jewelry, but when I was really recruiting people to be on my team and building my team, it was really interesting to me that when you're in any kind of direct sales business, most of your consultants, the people who join your team, started out as customers. And something that really struck me was that when they were customers, they had no problem talking about the product, how much they loved it, how excited they were, telling their friends about it, showing off their jewelry. And the moment that they signed the line and gave themselves the title of consultant, they were so afraid to talk about it.
Yeah. I get it. I get it.
Yeah, and so that's really it. Why were you so excited about it before? Why did you choose the field that you're in? Why is it important to you? That's a big one.
Yeah. I think it's just getting over that bad stigma of, it's just self-fulfilling, or you're just a bragger, or whatever. But like you said, when you're puffing up somebody else, it's easy to do. Or when you're talking about something you love when you're not getting paid. So if you're getting paid, you should still, love it for a reason, and it should be okay.
And not be afraid. Sales. Here's one for you. I tell people all the time, what if I said there is no such job as sales?
Then we would probably start to feel a little relief for those of us who aren't well versed in sales. Some people love it. They get it. They can do it, no problem. But for some of us, where I think it's kind of changed, but I always mentally go back to the retail thing where you were just pounced on as soon as you walked through the door. And it was like, wait, do you want to see this, that, and the other? You're like, I just want to look, leave me alone. So that's like kind of the sales mentality that we're afraid of.
It is the sales mentality. I told somebody one day, what if I said that sales is just a word? It took me a while to realize that I was even selling when I was a teacher.
Okay.
You're selling a concept. You're selling an idea. When I have kids who walk into the room, I was an English teacher, and one of the units I taught was Romeo and Juliet. And I had a boy say to me one time, no offense, Mrs. Rickman, but why do I need to know this? I'm going to run my dad's farm, and I don't really see myself reading Romeo and Juliet to the cattle. Which he had a very good point.
Okay.
But I was able to explain to him that it wasn't about Romeo and Juliet itself or the story. It's about what you learn from the stories. And that here's some things that he might use when he's running that business.
Uh-huh.
And so you're convincing people all of the time.
Did you always feel like you were doing improv as a teacher? You just had to stay on your toes
All the time.
all the time.
All the time.
What are they going to say today? What are they going to ask?
What are they going to think today? What are they going to bring up today? Yes. Well, but that's true all the time.
Yeah.
It's the same thing when you're out talking about your business. So if I said to you, well, Trina, why a podcast?
Well, I like interviewing people and helping them tell their story.
Exactly.
That's why I want to have a podcast. And then the internet radio station, which sometimes people don't realize there's a difference.
Uh-huh.
The podcast is the audio video of interviews. The streaming station is just like you would go listen to the radio, but you listen from your browser. But that's because it was so heartbreaking when I was in broadcast radio. I still remember to this day, a gentleman walked through the door with the old school tape player and said, my granddaughter's song is on here. Will you listen? Can you play it? Mm-hmm. Of course we couldn't. Oh, sure, we had some access to music, but the way it actually works is not how you think it works. Mm-hmm. We couldn't just put anything on the air, and just to be able to give it a listen,
right.
So that kind of thing, when I realized how much indie artists, now granted today with Spotify and so many streaming platforms, but still the discovery, that's where my station comes into play. Mm-hmm. It's not an on-demand streaming. It's a discovery station. It's a place where you can come and listen, learn, and then go find out more about Grace or Allie or Grace any of the, mm-hmm. Because it's so important for us to keep sharing art and helping people discover more art. So anyway.
I do know. That's so perfect the way that you're explaining that, because, you know, in Southwest Missouri, I've said this for decades, we have so much incredible talent here. And I'm sure other places do too. And how do you get that talent out there? How do you let people see that? And so you're a part of that. You're a part of the discovery, the opportunity to hear a great voice, to know somebody. Mm-hmm. And I have seen that happen over and over again. At one that I know, and it's not local, but this was a big learning curve for me, is, you know, Benson Boone has become a household name. Yeah. You know, but Benson Boone songs. Yeah. Okay. So my daughter Anna has known about Benson now for years. She stumbled onto him on TikTok. Right. And so then she became a moderator on his Discord.
Seriously?
And yeah.
How funny.
Yeah, when there were hardly any people in it. So
that's hilarious.
You become a mod, you get to meet the people. And so I have seen the process of how that can happen with the technology that we have now. So if you know somebody who is a great singer, performer, songwriter, you need to introduce them to Trina, because she needs to know about them. They need to know about her. Yeah. And how organically, I mean, not that there wasn't work that went into it, but how organically that growth was. Mm-hmm. That he went from a year ago this past summer with his first tour to being on the Grammys. Yeah. Yep. In a year. Yeah. It's crazy. So it is crazy. It is crazy. Or 2 years ago, I guess. 2 years ago this past summer. No, a year ago this past summer. That's right. It was a year ago this past summer. So that she was at a concert in Chicago with other mods. Mm-hmm. And again in Omaha. That's cool. And then look where that has taken. Yeah. Obviously persistence pays off, and he's not from here, but that is what you can do. When you connect with the people around you, you can change their world. Yeah. And if they don't know about you, they don't know about you. Yeah. So are there any of you out there that are watching? Do you have
a struggle with getting your pitch right, and what have you done to overcome it or refine it? I do feel like, kind of like what you said earlier, you always grow and evolve and change, and it's okay to have it one way one week and something else another week if it fits
Absolutely.
your story.
I think we get very stuck sometimes in the idea that there's just one way to do it, and there isn't. And, you know, when I work with, like I said, I have a whole class that I do with clients, and they amaze themselves when they realize that they're not saying it. So, you know, an example of that, and this will help everybody maybe, an example of that is one of my very first clients was a massage therapist. And she was really frustrated because she was talking about massage and she wasn't getting bookings in the networking world. And so I reached out to her and said, I think I can help you with this. I understand your frustration. Let me see what I can do. So when I sat down with her, my first question was, what do you do for people, and how did you get started in this? And she started telling me her story, and I was mind-boggled that she hadn't been sharing her story. Her basic message was, I'm a massage therapist. If you're in pain, come see me. Well, most people are in pain of some sort. Yeah. They don't even realize it. And the perception was, with the people she was talking to, that massage was a luxury, that it's pampering, that it's relaxation, which it is, can be, all of those things. But it's also therapeutic. And she started telling me that her very first job was in a clinic for trauma rehab.
Okay.
So these people had been in accidents, traumas, and it was rehabilitation, and she was the massage therapist. And she was telling me stories about how that worked out. And then I said, well, if you could pick an ideal client right now, what would it be? And she said, vocal performers. Totally caught me off guard. Yes, exactly. And I said, why are you not talking about these things? Because she said, oh, if I do massage in through here, it opens up their diaphragm.
Oh my gosh.
It can help their vocal cords and all these great things. And I said, why are you not talking about that? Why is your message, if you're in pain, come see me? Why are you not telling your story? Yeah. And so we did. We modified that into 30 seconds, and she went to the very next meeting, and she had 5 bookings. So,
oh my gosh.
So yes, change your story. Don't keep doing the same thing over and over again, hoping for different results. And
sometimes it's just rubber ducking it, you know, just talking it out until, you know, something clicks and you're like, oh, yes, that is why I do it. Let me write that down. Yes. Yes. So when I'm sitting in a networking meeting and I hear somebody say, oh, I'm this, and everyone knows what I do. Oh, there we go. Hi, we're back. It draws connection like every so often. Sorry. It does. So we just, you know, we're back. We just hang out. We blinked. So once you kind of, do you have any like other suggestions? Like, should we kind of be taking notes here and there as we're thinking of these things to form a better pitch? Absolutely. You know, if you work with a client and you're so happy and fulfilled after helping that client, then you should be taking notes about that. You know, client stories are great. They make you see what people need. Maybe it's that you take those extra steps. Maybe your clients have told you that you're really good at breaking things down and explaining them. Maybe they've heard what you do 100 times, but the way that you told them was different. Maybe it's jotting down some things from your background. Why would I trust and believe what you're saying? Well, maybe it's because of something in your experience. Well, let's talk about taking that to a networking meeting. For most of us, we usually, especially if it's a brand new crowd or new people there, we all talk about what we're doing there. So I know that I still get nervous, and then I end up forgetting things that I wanted to say. Sure. And I've also heard some great folks like, I think you do it. I've heard Jennifer Kornblum do it with excellence, and she'll give a tip about something before she goes into that's why you need me kind of thing. And Jennifer Kornblum is a lawyer. She's part of, I know, the alumni and then Amigos chapters.
2 chapters.
So I admire that. And then I want to go do the same thing. And it's just like, I want to get it over with, sit back down and move on.
Right. So yeah. So when you were getting ready to talk, one of the things I think that we think we have to do is to take everything that we do in our business and condense it down to 30 seconds.
Yeah.
No. We need to give an overview of exactly what we do. So, well, Jennifer's one of my clients, so I can talk to that.
No wonder she's so good, so I guess.
Jennifer came to me, and, we talked about what her message is, and she is an attorney, but something that she's very passionate about is doing it differently than what we're used to.
Right.
And so she wanted to get that message across, that her approach is completely different, that she's affordable for people, but that they still get the quality.
Yeah. And
so she wanted to get that message out there, and that was different. I mean, people think they know what attorneys do, but she wanted to help people with their estates. She wants to make sure that people's wills and trusts and they feel protected, and that she takes an entirely different approach to it. And something that she mentioned when we were talking is that she answers her own phone.
Yeah.
Well, you call an attorney firm,
and
you got to talk to 3-4 people before you actually get to talk to the attorney, and you call Jennifer's number and you get Jennifer. And so I think all of those things are really more important to lead with.
Yeah.
Than the fact that she does
wills and trusts. Yeah.
So I think that's really important. And then also to be informative. How do you show people what you know?
Yeah.
How are you showing people what you know? So the did you knows came from that fact of you need to show people your expertise, and here it is. And that's where the did you knows came from.
Oh, I like that. I like that. She's also been on the contributor corner, and I always learn something. I mean, just like you're saying, I mean, there's so many layers to law that, especially as a business owner, and then the family wills and trusts. And
well, precisely. That's a big one.
Yeah.
There's so many different people in ING that do take that approach. And, even for you, that's something that you just explained about your Run Radio. About the internet radio station and why somebody would benefit from it.
Yeah.
So that's what you have to remember. You don't have to tell them everything. You have to tell them enough that they want to ask you questions.
Yeah.
That's what your 30 seconds is.
Yeah. And change that, I guess, from meeting to meeting?
Yes. I have so many clients that in our first couple of meetings, they're resistant to the idea that you don't have to talk about everything that you do every time.
Yes.
Maybe this week you choose one ideal client that you're looking for. And next week it's a different ideal client. So in what you do, maybe this week you are looking for any indie artists who want to get a song out there. And that's what you're looking for this week. Because I can only remember so many things. So if I'm in your networking group and I'm part of your referral team, then that's going to be something that I can walk away with and go, oh, I know so-and-so who knows so-and-so, and I can introduce them in Trina. And so you've placed that thought in the head, right? But if you start talking about, I work with indie artists and writers and business people, and I leave and my head is like, But this week, maybe you want to help 4 indie artists get their music out there, 4 authors get their stories out there.
And that helps me be a little less anxious too, because if I'm trying to remember all that stuff too, then no wonder I'm going to be wound up.
There's also another myth out there that you should never have your notes when you're talking to anybody who's ever taken public speaking class. That used to be something that we were
Yeah.
taught all of the time, is to not have your notes. And my question to that is why?
I know.
If you have bullet pointed notes to remind you, why wouldn't you have them?
Well, and especially when you're supposed to be relaying that you are human and you are a person. I'm not a machine. Why?
Exactly.
Why would I be expected to?
I think a lot of people walk away from networking meetings, and there's always somebody in the group that they're like, I listened to that person speak and I still don't know what they do.
Oh, yeah.
And you don't want to be that person.
No, for sure.
You want people to take your message and say, hey, today I met somebody who does confidence coaching. I met somebody who is an attorney with a whole different approach. I met someone who has an internet radio station but also does podcasting for businesses and things like that. And I think some people get caught in the idea that there's not anything unique about what they do.
Mm-hmm.
I had a real estate agent tell me that, a realtor tell me that I'm a realtor. We all do the same thing. No, you don't.
No, you don't.
No, you don't. Trust me, I've bought and sold 3 houses in different places, so I had different realtors. No, you don't all do the same thing.
Yeah.
The service that you provide, what is it that you do? And don't get so confident in the nuts and bolts of your business that you think everybody knows.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's something that a lot of times we hope they know. We said it once. They're going to remember, or you're going to sound like a broken record or whatever.
Well, we were talking about jargon earlier, that sometimes we know the nuts and bolts of our business so well that we'll throw something out there assuming that everybody knows what it is or how it works. And everybody's guilty of that.
Yeah.
We do a lot of assuming. Or we assume that people in the room don't care. Or we assume that they aren't interested. Or we assume that...
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, we're afraid we're going to bother them, or I don't know. So, yeah. All right. So we've got some good takeaways for the elevator pitches. If you have any other questions, drop them in the comments. We've got some good topics coming up, so we hope that you'll keep watching. And also, if you have an idea for a topic or something that you want to learn more about, definitely let us know. You can send us a message, or if you have time in your schedule and come in and join us, we would love that. We're going to be talking about some networking success stories, so we would absolutely love to have you come and talk about how clients and partnerships and opportunities have gotten even better with you through networking. So, do we have a little tiny guest?
I do.
Let's see. Oh, he's sleeping.
He's sleeping. We can bring him up there. Hold on. I can lift him up. I just got a special delivery. There he is.
Her tiniest client.
Yes, my tiniest client.
Aww.
Yes. He calls me Mimi.
He was sleeping, but he just woke up for the camera. He's like, hey.
Yeah. He likes being a star.
All right, so we are going to be joining you again next week between 1:30. And if you have any questions, comments, thoughts, please send them our way. Until then, good luck with your networking. Good luck with your chapter, and tell everybody about Inspiring New Growth. And you can find out more at inspiringnewgrowth.com. And you can watch these videos if you missed them. The lives are still up, but I also put them on the podcast platform, so you can listen, watch on all the platforms. Link over from runitstudios.com. And if you go to YouTube, there is a special playlist, so you can just see them all there.
Yeah.
All right. Until next time.
We'll
see you later.
Next week.